I'm Alli. I came out after 20 years of marriage and I have 3 kids.
I'm Melisa and I have 2 kids and I came out at 37 after an 11-year marriage.
This podcast is about coming out later and the struggles and victories that come with it.
When coming out feels like the end of the world, but it's really just the beginning.
This is the Lesbian Chronicles. Welcome to the Lesbian Chronicles.
Hello, my friend.
Well, hello there. How are you?
Good. Did you have a good Mother's Day?
I did. What did I even do on Mother's Day? It was good. Uneventful and good.
You know, it's funny, like before I was like divorced, like Mother's Day, I was like, no one talked to me. Like, I want to be left alone. Like, I don't care about like the Mother's Day brunch and all that stuff. But now it's like, well, I don't get to see them all the time. So of course I want to like see my kids and hang out with them on Mother's Day.
Right. I know. I don't remember. I think, Tatum just got back home from college for the summer. And so that she wasn't home for Mother's Day, but I think I had that, like I was getting very excited for that. So it just felt really good. I still like a break from my kids on Mother's Day.
I mean, I did get to
terrible.
sleep in like without them, and that was nice.
Yeah.
So like they've gotten so much better about like allowing me to sleep, but still like a lot of mornings Brecken still pops in. I do. Can I watch TV? It's like,
no, it's like just
you can make me alone,
dude. Yeah, or just do it. My thing is
just do it. Eat 12 bowls of cereal.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Please don't come in and check with me unless somebody's bleeding or there's a massive emergency.
Right. Like I appreciate that you're trying to follow the rules, but we don't always have to.
No, God, not if it involves my sleep for sure. So what else is new over there? You're in the Peachtree City. You know, I'm going to be there close to there, I think, for a soccer game. Is Hampton, Georgia near there?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Like they kind of seem like they would be because like, you know, they're both south of Atlanta, but they both like, I think Hampton is 75 north, 75 south. Peachtree City is 85 south. So,
got it.
Did I just say that right? I feel like I just said that wrong.
I definitely wouldn't know since I only go 2 miles outside my house address.
Yeah. Basically. Right. So no, they look like they'd be close together and they're not.
Okay. Bummer.
But,
I was going to pop on over.
Best of luck in Hampton. I don't know. What's even down there?
I don't know. And they make you get there really early. So it's like you're there before the game starts. So then I got to do the whole thing with the small talk before the game. And it's a whole thing.
My kids are not playing soccer right now and they haven't noticed. So.
Oh God, you're so lucky.
No one
I don't think mine would even care if I didn't. I have to make them because if they didn't, I feel like Reed would just be on his iPad all day.
Well, I mean, that part is true, but
you're not at that yet, though.
Like Brecken does parkour. I think that's good. That's only once a week. The thing is, like, the longer they do these sports, the more intense it is and the more committed.
I'm telling you, like, wait.
Yeah, I wish I would have waited. Like we were at the soccer fields like 4 days a week. And I'm just like, it's too much.
It is too much. It's too much for all of us. It's too much for Maria. It's too much for everybody.
Yeah. And like they see it as social hour anyway. It's not like they were going to be, you know, soccer stars.
No. And I multiply that by 3 because all of them had stuff. So
I can't imagine.
No, like, it's a lot.
It's not happening.
Gotta really give up that weekend.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, and you're always out there on the soccer field. So
and the thing is, like, I don't really even know what's going on in soccer. Like as many years as I've watched it, you still don't know the rules.
Oh my God.
So half the time I'm like, wait, why is there a corner kick happening?
Well, you know, I played soccer very briefly, not like on any kind of, you know, elite level by any means, but I've played it. And I still am confused. Like, what just happened? Like, why are we doing this now? It's an interesting sport.
It is an interesting sport, but we're not here to talk about soccer. We're here to talk about Heartbreak Hotel.
We definitely like have a running theme of the emails that we get of like someone's either like heartbroken over getting a divorce, right?
Yep.
And feeling like they shouldn't be heartbroken because they're gay and they initiated it, or they're going through the heartbreak of breakup with a girlfriend, specifically that first one. That's the one that hits the hardest. And I thought maybe we could help some people get through that.
Yeah. And I let it first make you feel better that you're not alone. Like I would say half to 60% of our emails are about people suffering massively from heartbreak. And most of the time,
Yeah.
it's their catalyst relationship. It's that first relationship's imploding and they're feeling completely alone and scared because now their marriage is over and they're in the throes of, the fallout of the catalyst.
Well, and it's such a new feeling too. We talk about how like going through this, it feels like your second puberty, right? Like you're experiencing all these things that you didn't experience as a teen. And like, sure, I had breakups when I was a teenager, but they didn't hit that hard. And
Right.
like those first ones hit really hard and in a way that I had never felt before.
Yeah.
But something that I read recently was about how your brain has a way of like when you're hurt by something, your brain has a way of like convincing you that that pain is forever. Like,
Sitting in it like it's always going to be this way. And I'm
yeah, I'm going to
down
feel
and
like
out.
this for the rest of my life.
Right.
And it's like this weird thing that our brains do. I don't know why that happens, but
Right.
I mean, I've definitely felt that. I've been in a place where I'm like really sad and it's like, God, like you just feel like doom and gloom. Like this is
Yeah.
never going to feel better.
Right.
But of course it does get better. Like
It
it
gets
just takes
better than it
time.
was even before. Like it gets,
Right.
like you level up and then you might have a setback and then it gets even better. It's like learning to kind of know that that's true. Like it might feel very permanent. It's not, it just isn't.
I think it's like it takes you reminding yourself constantly during those like tough times. Like this isn't permanent. It's going
Right.
to feel better. Right now sucks, but it's going to feel better. And also like not occupying all of your time with those thoughts. Like I've done this a lot where I kind of I want to feel better so bad that I'm like finding any kind of material like that is on the subject that I'm sad about, right?
Yeah.
Like finding any podcast that I can about like a breakup or whatever. And in a way, like yes, that kind of stuff helps, but in a way it can start to like be to your demise.
Yeah. Like it's
Like
overkill. Like you're just living in this misery.
yeah.
What you're listening to, what you're reading.
And I think it's important to like take a step back from that and be like, okay, like I need to find something that's going to make me feel good.
And knowing what
Um,
those things are before you're down and out, because sometimes when you're depressed and sad,
yeah.
nothing sounds good. So it's like you kind of have to identify what sounds good before so that when those times come, you've got these what we call tools in your toolbox of like, this is what I know helps me, whether it's sitting at a coffee shop and reading or calling a friend or I go for a run, things like that that kind of fill your bucket with some joy.
But when you're sad, don't you find that it's like, for me, it's like
Yeah.
really hard for me to just like get out of the house.
It definitely is. Like it is, but I think it's like I know in those moments that I've got to find those things.
Yeah.
Who they
I don't
are
know.
and like start to I know I'll feel worse if I don't go do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For sure. And like, but for me, I'm like, I kind of like will allow myself those moments to like have a not do anything, like do the bare minimum, I guess, for my
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Like, of course, I'm showing up for work, but it's okay to like skip the gym sometimes and like
Totally.
sit home and like watch TV instead. Like
100%.
it's interesting. I read this thing too about like one of the things that some people do to cope is to watch old shows that they like you've already like a show like
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they'll
comfort
go
shows.
back and they'll go back and like watch their comfort shows. And that is like a therapeutic thing. It's like, yes, you know what's going to happen, but it's also like it kind of like takes you back to that time that you watched it the first time. And it's like, I don't know, it's just like really helpful. It's
And maybe that would be your tool in your toolbox.
yeah,
Like
totally.
it doesn't have to be all these like self-betterment things. It can be anything, it can be anything that kind of like is something you can do. Like I have a friend right now going through immense heartbreak. And that's one of the things we've talked about. It's like, what do you enjoy doing? Whether it's just going out for a walk or, it's not going to feel amazing right away. But one of the things her therapist told her is to start instead of journaling, because that feels overwhelming. She's very busy. Why not just like write down and start like tracking your mood? Like, how did I feel in the morning? How did I feel in the afternoon? Like for me personally, between 3 and 4 o'clock, I get really tired for whatever reason. So I know that about myself. So between 3 and 4, that's not the best time for me to do anything. So it's like, if you start to kind of track how you're feeling, I think that too makes you feel like you have some control over it. And you start to see that it's not all doom and gloom. Things do pick up
Yeah.
and get better.
Yeah, I think that is good because then you can look back like 2 weeks later and be like, okay, like I feel better than I did on that day.
Totally.
Like you can kind of like, it's like a reminder of like, okay, things are feeling better.
Right.
And like I said, that permanent, that thought that this is permanent, you see it
Right.
in that way. Like if you can reflect back.
And a lot of our listeners are getting divorced. So they've got that. And then they might be like feeling some excitement around this catalyst relationship. And then that's imploding. So it's like layers of scary, anxiety inducing stressors happening all at once. And then you're not sleeping. So then you're not dealing with the original stressor as well. Like there's so many things when you're getting divorced that then compound the hardness. If you know that and you're not alone, that's just kind of part of it.
But another layer to that is the feeling of like, yeah, like when you're going through the divorce, like you are excited. But I think a lot of people don't give themselves permission to be sad about the divorce.
Right. Right.
And like I felt bad about that at first, being like, oh, like who am I to be sad about this? Like I'm the one that wanted it. I think, honestly, it was like one of those things that didn't really hit me until I went and like signed my divorce papers. And it was like this being hit by like a wall of emotion and being like, this is real and this is sad. Like I am very sad that this is happening.
Totally.
It's the last thing that I thought that would be happening right now.
Right. And even though you're gay and even though you had somebody that you were kind of excited about, all those things were true, but it's also like, you're not sure. Like, it's not like you're totally set and I did the right thing. Like sometimes I don't think anything in life, like sometimes you're just, you're gay, but you don't know that you're doing the right thing. So you're also like scared and
that's so true.
Yeah.
It's like, you can know that you're gay, but are you doing the right thing?
Are you doing the right thing? There's plenty of people who would say, no, you're not. So what? You're gay. You met this man, you loved him, you
suck it up.
Or not even suck it up. More like you can be very happy in that life too,
And that's something that a lot of people explore,
Totally. So I think it's like, you're also like questioning that. And now you're alone, you're home from that divorce paper day. And now your catalyst
sucks.
Not working out. Yeah. It kind of sucks. And then you're like, oh my God, I blew up everything with someone who was constant and amazing and loving. And the father of these kids gives a shit about them. And whoa, what have I fucking done?
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like I just like had sold my soul to the devil. Why, what happened? What became of me?
You can't mourn it.
Yeah. Cause then
you made your own bed. Why?
I think those are all valid feelings. And then the feeling of then you're going to go out there and try to date and you're getting rejected.
It's another heartbreak.
So it's like the layers of what's wrong with me. So I think,
but that's another trick your brain is playing. Your brain is telling you that this person didn't swipe on you because you're not good enough. Like you're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough, all that stuff. But it's just your brain is fully messing with you. And this is something that I learned from podcasts from this guy named Therapy Jeff. Like he's kind of blowing up right now. I found him on TikTok, but he actually is on YouTube and stuff like that and has a podcast. And he has some great advice on like all sorts of like relationship stuff. But he was saying like to take like a dry erase marker and like write all the like negative things you have that you think about you, kind of like to break apart like the narrative of like what you're telling yourself versus like what is actually factually true.
Right. Okay.
Because I think, we just get in our head so much like it's to, okay, well, this isn't working out. This isn't working out. And it must be because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But
I'm
that's
not successful enough. I'm not
the lies your brain is a liar.
Right. But then it's like, to me, I hear that. And I think it is true. Like you start to think something's wrong with you. But I think I always say like, if everyone likes you, then you're doing something wrong. But it's also that you're never going to be like my friend who I was talking about going through the heartbreak. She is stunningly beautiful. She's smart as shit. She's engaging. She has 1,000 friends. She's very well educated. She's well read. She is glows. I mean, it's like if she's feeling these feelings of inadequacy because she got broken up with, it's like, what hope is there for the rest of us? I look at her, I'm like, you have it all. Like what in the world? Like this person doesn't get to decide your worth. So it's just like
Yeah.
you have to build that internal, I like who I am. I am, am I the most beautiful woman in the world? No, but I'm pretty. I'm fine with how I look. I feel like I'm healthy. I am smart. I do know a lot of things. Like I guess I'm a good mom. I'm a good friend. You get confident inside, and then it doesn't matter anymore if somebody swipes or not, because I already know what I think about me.
It's like you're not going to have a win every second, you
No,
know?
no.
Um, Sometimes it just takes time. Like I can look back now and see like why things happen the way that they happen. And it takes time to see that, but it's like, okay, it makes sense as to why I met my catalyst when I did. It makes sense why we broke up when we did. It makes sense why I met that next person. Like, and then
Right.
that ended. Like all of it makes sense now. It's like if I wish I could go back and tell my past self, like when I was in the thick of like heartbreak, like it does get better. Like right now, your brain's just fucking with you thinking this is permanent, but things will feel better.
It's true. And it's like, even when you're with the catalyst and we read these emails, and it's like, these people you're so sad because you're like, you lost this person that in your mind you built this world with. You're leaving your marriage to build it with this person. And I think about like, I mean, it's like that Garth Brooks song, like some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers, because it's just like,
Mhm.
that is so true. It's like, I think about the things that I wanted so badly back then, it would have ruined my life. Like
Yeah.
it's not even remotely what I want. I ended up with something far better.
100%. And like that's just it. Like when I think about like someone going through a breakup and they're sad that they're losing that person, it's like you used to say to me, like, get excited because like
Yeah, get
what's
excited.
next is going to
Yeah.
be so much better than that person
And you're
that
better
you're with.
because you've
Yeah,
grown from this experience. So now
right.
everybody levels up.
Like if you think about how great and all those qualities that you loved about that relationship, now you're going to find something even better that fits better. You'll be able to like reflect back and have that lesson.
It's so true. I think about too, it kind of reminds me of when I used to do physical therapy. There was this mom there, her daughter had been in an accident, and it was like, I can't remember all the specifics, but I do remember the mom and I having this conversation, and her mom saying, like, it was like, I thought we were going to Paris. And so in my mind, I planned for Paris, I packed for Paris, and now we're in Spain. And I'm having to like
Wow.
get excited about Spain. Like it's going to be different in Spain, but it's still going to be wonderful in Spain. So it's
Hmm.
like, I think that too is like, you're so hung up on Paris that you're missing out on kick ass Barcelona. It's
Yeah.
it's way better. Like what?
Yeah.
Like don't sleep on this. So I sometimes think you
Now,
do have to get excited and get hopeful.
it's true. But in the meantime, like what are some like good things that you have found have worked for you? You know, you mentioned like writing down like how you feel that day, but like
Yeah.
other tools in your toolbox of like what is helpful
Yeah.
to
I
get
mean,
through those
mine,
tough
like I
things.
have guilty ones and I have healthy ones. I would say like for me, with work, like this would be probably a healthy one, but with work, I get very buried in what I'm doing. I do house design and I'll just be designing and designing, and it's fine. And I love my job, but then it's like what I really love doing is sourcing product, like finding cool lighting and finding cool pavers and like putting together looks that are new for our company that aren't just what we use all the time. I love that. But I get so busy sometimes I don't get to go out and do that or find furniture or find. So sometimes, like if I'm feeling like, I'll make 30 minutes that I'm letting myself do this today. I'm going to find, it's good for the company and it's good for me. That one's a healthy one. Maybe one that's like, I just allow myself is I love to watch TV and eat like something that I pick up. So I know, like for me, if I'm kind of down, I look forward to picking up like something awesome, Indian food maybe, and sitting in front of my TV and eating. I love that. So sometimes I'll like treat myself to that. I love to read at a coffee shop. I can do that if I'm happy or sad, but it's definitely like a tool in my toolbox. How about you?
It's funny because like I always feel like so many people will be like, oh, well, you should meditate and do yoga
Yeah,
and
yeah,
drink lots of water and all that. And
yeah.
I'm just like not good at that stuff. Like for me, it's like allowing myself to be lazy and allowing myself to like spend a little bit more time in bed, being like sleeping in a little bit or taking a nap or like watching TV. but not watching something that, like, I'll watch really mind-numbing TV, like Below Deck. Something like that is like perfect to get my mind off of everything. Or like I said, like the old TV shows that I used to watch all the time that I've seen a million times.
Right.
Those are good too. And it works so much better for me than like all the bullshit that therapists will say to do.
Yeah, go journal.
Like,
No, I can't do any of that. That's why I do like a mood check. I do like that because it's like very easy and it makes me feel like I have control a little bit. Like, okay, like I'm a little anxious right now. Maybe try to discover about myself. Why am I anxious right now? Like what's happening?
And like I do really like journaling though. I will say that is something that is very helpful to me.
Very helpful.
And I don't have like a physical journal. Like I'm not like writing it. I'm like literally like typing it up in my phone and my notes.
Yeah.
Like
That's the same.
Simple as that.
I think anytime you deep dive.
Yeah. Like to take the deep dive and like really be honest with yourself and like what your thoughts are.
And get it out of your head onto the paper. I think they say it makes you sleep better. Like it does so many things that then help you in life, just be less emotional and quick to react. Like if I've had a good night's sleep, I'm a different person.
Absolutely.
So it's just, that is one of the tricks they say is before you go to bed at night, you should like get it out of your head and on paper because it just like that physical.
You'll sleep so much better.
Yeah,
and then I have one more to offer before we wrap it up. It's so tempting to like text when you're going through a breakup, text that your person, right? Yeah. And I think it's so important to like take a few weeks at the very least of like not communicating with them once you're fully like done, right? Yeah. Few weeks, few months. And it's so you're in the habit of texting that person. So I think it's smart to like take that text that you want to write, type it up in like the notes app on your phone and sit on it. Walk away. Don't send it, you know, and give it, 24, 48 hours, something like that, and reread it and be like, okay, like, did I need to send this message? Do I still want to send the message? Like, what purpose is this serving here? Yeah,
that's a good question. Why?
And then don't send it.
Still don't send it.
Still don't send it. But, like we make such rash decisions and then end up in the same spot that we were.
And I think too, like some people like will say like, I have to have closure. I need closure. It's a big, like hot topic. And like, I've had friends say that to me, like, I've got to get closure on
I've got to get closure. Like, and you have like, your closure.
They gave you your closure when they fucking walked out on you and they didn't return your text and they told you they don't want to be in your life. You got your closure.
Right.
You trying to still claw on to this person that already told you they don't want you.
Right.
Stop
that
it.
Whole saying, like when someone shows you
who they are, believe them. Believe them.
That's all you need.
It's all you need. And so it's just like, I always like friends who tell me like, I just want to have one more conversation to get the closure. I'm like, no, you don't. They already gave it to you. They closed the door and they already gave it to you. There's nothing else you need. You have what you need to now move on.
And if that doesn't work, make a list of all the things that you didn't like about them.
Yeah.
And that can be like the things that you didn't even tell your best friend about your partner. Write that down.
Exactly. It's so true. Oh my God. I've got some good ones.
Right? It's like, do that and like read that daily.
Exactly.
I will find someone that doesn't do, I don't even know what's something bad.
Let's have
something not too gross.
Conversation about this offline. All right. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Yes. Sorry. Quick episode this week, but we will be back again next week. And as always, continue your emails and send us topics that you want us to cover. We appreciate everyone who emails us.
And if you do read them, still put your city on the map because we're also hearing from people in different places. And I'm like, we've heard from 2 other people. Put your thing on the map.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Want to support the Lesbian Chronicles podcast? Rate us and write a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
We love listener feedback. If you'd like to share your story, email us at melissaandalli@gmail.com. That's Melissa, MELISA, and Alli, ALLI, @gmail.com. Or follow us on Instagram at Lesbian Chronicles.